once you make a decision for yourself, you got to be committed. Okay? If you say yes to yourself, you never back out. If I produce an event, I never cancel it.
Yeah.
If I said this is the date, and then people are like, not committing, or I don't have enough people that are, I will not cancel it. Even if it's only 2 people in there, I am going forward.
All right, welcome back once again to the Rock Your Gift podcast, where we operate in the intersection between business, personal growth, and creativity. And I'm super excited to be here with you again and to introduce an amazing guest. Her name is Marie Waite. Marie is the founder of Fire Up Connect, as well as the finest women in real estate. And she is a branding strategist with a lot of amazing things that she does to help experts and entrepreneurs to grow their businesses, get more visibility, as well as to make a lot more money in real estate and things like that. She's a published author as well. So welcome to the show.
Thank you, Sean.
Yeah. So why don't you give us a little bit of a background? What would you say that you do, and what's your main focus right now?
My main focus is to make sure that I create an impact to someone's life, especially the business entrepreneurs. I love to work with people. And one thing that I focus on is helping them build their name and their brand. I have such a unique background in terms of, my experience, because I have done so many things. Like I have produced so many fashion shows, live events, seminars, summits. And through all of those years of doing events, I met so many people, and I realized how branding is so important in your business. I didn't even realize that I was building my own brand when I was doing all of that. And what happened is when I saw all these people coming to me, and I realized that I have built such a strong brand, and then went back and evaluated what I did, and that's how I realized how it works. So it was a proven system for me. And so when I talk to people, I know how to help them because I did it myself.
Yeah, I love that. Tell us about, what does branding mean to you?
Branding is how you present yourself. It's it includes your personality, your character, your communication style, and how you work with people. Your process of business. It's a lot when it comes to branding. That's why when I thought about publishing a book, because I want to make sure that they understand the basics and basic principles of branding. There's a lot to it, so I have to cover that in my book. And I don't know if you want me to share with you, but this is it's called Who Do You Think You Are? And here I have covered at least 19 chapters of information that can really help you build your name and your brand, and also ultimately your legacy. Because that's really what's going to happen when you have a very strong brand. You're going to leave a good legacy for people, and you're really making an impact when you have a good branding.
What do you think most people do wrong when it comes to branding? What are some of the biggest mistakes they're making?
I think part of it is, most of them are very hands-on, and they forget that they have to be visible. They have to create a system where they can communicate to people and educate them that they are an expert in what they do. So then the communication part of it could be in terms of media. It could be in terms of just, reading materials, or it could be just, a workshop or being live in front of people. So the thing is, people make their own judgment based on what they see, what they hear, and what they feel. So part of that is learning the kinesthetics and the different senses of people's, understanding. And if you do, you'll be able to tap into all of those and figure out how to effectively share your message to them. Right. And also one thing that I know is that most of the people there, they don't understand their gifts. Like what you talk about, rock your gift, right? And they don't know what they're capable of.
Yeah.
And so part of what I do is I try to give them the understanding and the image of where they can be and who, you know, what they're good at. Because sometimes I see it just by talking to them, and they don't see that they can do those things.
Right.
And I remember one of my connections, Teresa. I want to mention her. She is the founder and CEO of the Your Trueness Project. When I first met her, she was she just published her book, and you know, while talking to her, I realized that she wasn't seeing herself in a certain way, and I started thinking, you know what, I can see you being this way, and she thinks that I was crazy by saying that, but then if you see her now, she actually believed what I said to her, that she could be all of those things.
Yeah.
And now she is traveling, and she's like so excited about life, and she couldn't stop talking about what I did for her by making her see the possibilities of what she can be. And also, she embraced my branding program, that she was able to go faster with what she needs to do with her business and how she's presenting herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, perception is everything, right? So
Yeah.
how people perceive you is going to make or break your success
Yeah.
pathway. I wonder too, like what the mindset pieces are that people need to step into around branding. You know, I think that sometimes there's not a different version of you, but maybe a version of you that's your best self that you can present
Yeah.
more often.
Well, I think the first thing is they have to be transparent to people. You know, show their strengths and their weaknesses. There's nothing wrong sharing your weaknesses, because people sometimes can use that for different things.
Yeah.
And so don't be afraid of showing your, like for me, example, one of my weaknesses is English, communicating in English, because I'm originally from the Philippines. So in the beginning, I was afraid about speaking, and they could criticize my accent or the way I say it or grammar, things like that. But I realized that's not really what people care about. They care about my leadership. They care about what I share to them. They care about my creativity. They care about the things that I can do for them. So it didn't really matter. So after that, I realized I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
And that's something that people need to be to understand, is that the way they're created by God is perfectly done. So whatever it is, they have a reason to be that way, and they have to embrace that and offer it to people. That is their gift. Whatever strengths and weaknesses, it's a gift that they can share to people, and they can help them in so many different ways they cannot even imagine.
I love that. And I love how passionate you are about really like owning your gifts and putting yourself out there. You're constantly doing events, you're constantly creating things like magazines and things, books. Where's that drive coming from? Like a lot of people are sitting on the sidelines kind of hoping and wishing, but you take a lot of action. What's the source of all
Well,
that?
one is, I know in my heart that I was created for a reason. Okay? I know I have a very good understanding why God created me. And that's something that people need to understand, is you need to know why you exist. And once you understand that, I feel like, there's not enough time to apply what I have, because I know that I have all these gifts. It's, like you're saying, rock your gift. But for me, if you have a gift, you have to offer it. You have to give it to somebody.
Right.
And if you don't give it to somebody, it's not really a gift, right? So that's why I don't stop doing things. I want to make sure that people know that I have a gift for them, that they need to receive that. And, people sometimes, I would reach out to people many, many times. And some of them they would keep saying no and no. And I'm okay with that, as long as I understand that, they totally don't want my gift. But at the same time, I don't stop offering my gift. I want to make sure that they understand that I have something for them. And, and I know that it will bless them. So my gift is to bless people. And the only thing I need to do is be very proactive about offering it. So that's why I don't stop. And even though I stumbled so many things, challenges, obstacles, mistakes, it doesn't matter. It's part of life. It's part of my journey. I'm learning a lot from it. And if I didn't do anything and I'm worried about, making mistakes or taking, actions, then where would I be? I won't be publishing books. I won't be producing TV reality show. I won't be in front of so many leaders that own different companies that I'm now involved because they saw what I did. There's so many open doors that you can get into once you take actions. That's something that I discovered, that the more I do, the more I see opportunities, the more people come to me for different things. I mean, I have companies that are not related to real estate. They're not related to my media programs, but I'm involved because they open the door for me and they know that I have the skills. So, and I see opportunity. I see my connections. I see my networks. I see the product that can bless other people. I just make the connections. I'm like a matchmaker.
I love
Yeah.
that. That's so cool. And like, where did that start for you? Was there something that you went through that like opened you up to this way, or have you always been like this?
When I went through my divorce, that's when I realized I was trying to do a lot of self evaluation. You know, I think when you go through some hardship with your personal life, you start questioning yourself. And the more you question yourself, the more you realize that you have to reach out someone that you can really pour your pain and everything about your life. So I got to talk. I isolated myself for 2 weeks, and I wrote. I have a journal, like a little notebook, and I wrote all my whatever is in my mind to God. And I think what I experience is every time I put something in there that I'm having trouble, the next day I have the answer. It's like God gives me the
Yeah.
wisdom to figure out what the solution is, or to even at least have a clarity of my questions.
Yeah.
So and because of that, that's when I realized who I am. You have to really find time to understand yourself and to understand that you are not abandoned by God. He will always be there, even though you're by yourself. You will never be alone. So even though everybody else is abandoning you, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You have God, who is the most powerful of all, and you are taken care of. And that's the thing, you got to believe that He created you for a reason. And when you believe that, no one can stop you. It's really you who can stop what you can do, no one else.
Yeah.
So,
I love
and that's
that.
just the way I look at it.
That's amazing. So let's speak to those entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs. They wanna maybe get out of a job, or they want to start making more money. They want to start to rise up in terms of their success. What do you think some of the things they should be focused on are? Like, what are some of the biggest first steps to like go to the next level? Either they're already established, they want to go to the next, or they're trying to get into making money in their own business.
Well, one thing that what I did, actually, I actually gradually moved from healthcare to real estate. I had a very good job in the healthcare industry, and I went and did such a bold move in creating a real estate brokerage. And the thing is, I have a lot of capital to work with in order to jump to that. But at the same time, I didn't have a lot of experience in the real estate industry. But I was so bold enough that I went and did it and really work hard to understand the business. So there's a lot of hardship and learnings that I have to have in order to reach the success that I need. So everybody's situation is different. If you are currently working, and you want to move to a different industry, or you want to start your own business, you really have to get somebody to talk to and just bounce the ideas before jumping into something. And then after you get all the information you need, you have to make a decision to take an action. Whether you're not 100% sure or not, you have to take an action.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's a small action,
Yeah.
you got to do it.
Right.
You can't just keep analyzing everything
Right.
and keep, thinking, oh, what is the pros and cons, or what is the, keep analyzing. It's not going to happen. I mean, you got to make an action.
Right.
And because I'm so bold about
Mm-hmm.
what I do, and sometimes, and part of me, because I'm a risk taker, I actually don't worry too much about those things, because I know that I am so I'm so creative. I'm a problem solver.
Mm-hmm.
I like challenge. I like to find different solutions,
Yeah.
because I was a computer programmer. You know how
Mm.
computer programmers are. You find different solutions, and I'm kind of like that. I just have a different mindset when it comes to taking risks,
Yeah.
and I know that if I have a challenge, I tell people, and I get support from other people. I get knowledge from other people. See, part of it is you have to have good relationship with other people, and being honest and being transparent about your situation. And people are
Mm-hmm.
very giving. I mean, again, they have lots of gifts too, so you need to know how to tap to their gifts, and understand that there's a need for their gifts, and also there's also a appreciation that once you receive that gift from someone else, that you also have to keep that in mind and make sure that you give back later,
Right.
because I have a lot of people that help me,
Mm-hmm.
and I never forget them.
Mm-hmm.
I always give something back to them.
Mm-hmm.
And there are people that are very, mean to me also. But, that's part of life. Other people are not going to agree with what you're doing, or they don't like you for some reason. And that's okay. You know, it's not, don't take it personally. In the beginning, I was. But I realized it's not really my issue, it's their issue.
Yeah.
Because they have insecurities. They have, there's something lacking in them that they don't like about me.
Right.
And so you got to accept that. And actually, you want to feel bad for them, because they feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
And so the only thing you can do is just forgive, and, or, just be there for them if they need you.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it. But number one to me is you have to keep the respect for yourself. If people disrespect you and they continue to do that, you need to create that boundary, because the respect for yourself is going to keep you going. If you don't have respect for yourself and other people are disrespecting you, you're never going to get better, or in making decisions. You can't allow that. And that's something I learned from my dad. My dad is big on respect. He was very highly respected in the Philippines because of how he, managed people and how he communicated with people. He is a great leader. So I learned that from my dad. And so that's how I look at, things when you're running a business as an entrepreneur. Those are, little things that you need to remember. But if you read my book, The Who Do You Think You Are, you're going to see all these things that I'm talking about.
I love that.
Yeah.
One of the things that I know you do really well that I think is kind of a secret to success is the idea of creating a platform for other people. I think people are always saying, okay, how can I get? And they're not thinking about how can I create a place where I can give, where I can create more visibility or more opportunity for you. And with the events that I've been a part of that you've done, and that I know you've done a lot of events, you bring on speakers, you have panels, you have space for people to share. And I think that that's a really amazing thing, because if you show up to a networking event and you say, look, I've got an event coming up, and we're looking for speakers, or we've got some booth space, or we've got a great community for you to network with, I want you to meet some other business owners, like, you're a value source. And so I love that. And I wonder, like, what you would say to somebody who's just trying to get, like, how can they start to open themselves up to being, maybe they don't host events, but, like, what would you do? Because I think that's a shortcut. That's like, if you go to an event and you're like the person that can have a place for them, it's like you're really in the top 1 or 2% of people there in terms of how you're showing up. What do you think people can do to take a step in that direction? Because I think they can grow faster to learn from you.
Yeah, I think they need to understand the value of meeting people, because the people that we invite to the events, again, each person is a gift. And if you don't show up and if you don't get to see the gifts, you miss out. Even though, one thing I learned about doing an event is in the earlier part of, doing this, I'm always worried about the attendance and,
Right.
How people are going to, judge me for anything.
Yeah.
And I realized it doesn't really matter. If you have 2 people there, if you have 10 people there, if you have 100 people there, that is what needs to happen. God
Right.
controls it. I just do what He wants me to do,
Yeah.
and God makes it happen too. Okay? So if there's only 10 people that came into the event, that is what the miracle is. Those 10 people is going to be part of your life if you are part of it.
Yeah.
And it's going to create miracles. It's going to create magic, and you don't know what these people are going to be able to do for you. So every time you go to a networking, to an event, there's always something for you. But you have to believe it and you have to make an effort, because God cannot do everything for you. You got to be there
Yeah.
in order to receive it. And if you're not there, you're never going to get it. So part of it is, learn how to be ready for that. Be ready to receive those gifts from so many people that you're going to meet. That's why when I go to events, when I go to other meetings, I always have something. I always have some collaboration, some business out of it every time. I never missed it, because my approach is, wow, I got someone that I'm talking to, and this is his experience, this is his talent. How can I, work with him? That's a gift. And you just have to think, how can I use this gift? Who are the other people can use this gift? And I like to help people. Again, I'm a connector too. So when I see someone has a gift, I'm like thinking, wow, let me think, who am I going to give this gift to? That's just, I always think that way. And when I saw you perform at my event, oh my God, you are incredible, Sean. I mean, you are such a gift. I saw you twice already. I saw you perform at Dr. Monsis' birthday.
Right.
That was incredible. I didn't even know you. You just sang, and we were just enjoying your performance. And then when you came to my event, and I saw that you were really good in speaking and combining your talent of singing and rapping, or whatever you call that. It was very entertaining. And that's part of what's going on now. If you really wanted to go to be entertained and learn to events, you want to go to places where you get to see this kind of performance like you, a speaker. I mean, if anybody knows how amazing you are, they should be paying you a lot of money
Thank you.
to be on stage.
That's so great to
Yeah.
hear. I appreciate that. I'm loving that we've found a way to finally connect, because we've been in around the same circles for like a couple years now, and I've always been impressed by your events and your connections and the way that you established yourself. And I think about people with their visibility issues, and you've got all these solutions for people to break through that, whether that's to shift their brand, their message, and also like to get onto the front or inside of a magazine, to speak at one of your events, to position them in a way where they can actually they can get out of this invisibility and
Yes.
take that bold step. I'd love for you to speak about what are some of the things that you do that you found to really help people, like the show that you were talking about with me, because you've got media, getting people on
Yes.
TV. What are some of the things that you think people could take action on to break out of visibility challenges, and what do you really recommend they do?
Well, I know people have different budgets, right,
Right.
for marketing or for advertising. The thing is, there's always a way that you can tap into, whether your budget is small or large. So it's just a matter of being creative. So, and I have always an option for them to tap into, like when you and I talked about the TV show for you. We were talking about different ways of how we can make this happen. again, it's being creative because I tell you, when I did my TV talk show for Finest Women in Real Estate, I was mentored by a TV talk show host from One American Network. And at that time, I didn't have a lot of budget for it, but I found a way to produce 48 episodes. And it's just being creative. So I think if you understand the part of being creative is finding solutions and creating different plans. I mean, there's A through Z, right? So there's a plan A, B, C, D, and just trying to understand what are other ways to do it.
I love that.
Yeah. And the thing is, some people have really good experience that you can tap into and get some ideas.
Yeah.
So if you have a good network of people, if you meet with people, even on a monthly basis, that's why I have a Fire Up Connect monthly meeting.
Yeah.
We talk about challenges. We talk about their success. Because on the success story, you get to learn how they did it. On the challenge part, other people can give you advices, right? So part of it is, having a good, solid, group of people. Like you are an amazing, trainer for a lot of things, and especially on, sales. I mean, they can tap on that.
Yeah.
So they just need to understand what works for him,
Yeah.
for them, and, where they can fit into their program. Whatever challenges they have, that they can find solutions.
Yeah. I feel like the main thing that you really represent is taking action and like being like bold and being able to find a way. Like I think a lot of people get in their head and they're scared of what are, like, there's all these uncomfortable things that they might have to face. Maybe they have to face the question of, okay, what is my budget? And maybe I'm feeling like I don't have enough to invest in this thing, right? And they have to have that uncomfortable conversation. Or maybe it's, what am I going to say when I get up on stage? Or what makes me different? Or why am I special? They have all this stuff going on that prevents them from just taking that first step.
Yeah.
But I see you really representing like this boldness of saying, look, you don't have to have it all figured out. And you don't have to have this huge budget, and you don't have to like all these stories about what you need to have. It's like, no, like start from where you are and move, take a step in a direction that's calling you, and have the faith that something's going to happen from that, and show up at networking events and shake people's hand and take pride in what you have to offer, and be confident in your services, and start to like grow into a space of knowing you don't have to have it all figured out. But what you do need to do is take action and be willing to believe in yourself, and also care about other people.
Yes.
And I feel like that's an amazing message, because I think that you're self-actualized, and that's one of the things that this show is really about. Underneath it is like how you can rock your gift is like taking your gift and saying, I'm going to take that risk to do what I'm called to do, even if I don't know the how, or I don't know if I'm capable yet. So what? Take that risk. So I really love that. I wonder for you, like, what are some of the other things that you think people really need to break through on, and how they can take a next step for themselves if they're wanting to like leverage this moment. You're watching this podcast, you're listening, and you're just feeling the calling. Like, I want to do that. I want to be more visible. I want to be on a talk show. I want to have a podcast. I want to have, myself in a magazine, or I want to be confident when I go to the next networking event. What would you say to them that maybe you haven't said yet that could help them?
Well, one thing I would say is that you have to make a commitment to yourself, because when you decide that this is what you want, and this is where you're going to go, and that is your focus, you have to be disciplined and you have to be committed. Like, for example, I have a goal of doing a movie. It's a very hard goal to accomplish, because I've been working on it for years, but I have not given it up. And guess what? This year, March 28th, I am filming my movie. I found a place.
Wow.
And I've talked to so many people. I've talked to so many directors, producers, and I had so many meetings. I couldn't get it through. But this year is happening.
Nice.
It's not giving up.
Yes.
You cannot give up on something that you made a decision on. Once you make a decision for yourself, you got to be committed. Okay? If you say yes to yourself, you never back out. If I produce an event, I never cancel it.
Yeah.
If I said this is the date, and then people are like, not committing, or, I don't have enough, people that are, I will not cancel it.
Yeah.
Even if it's only 2 people in there, I am going forward because I said this is the day and this is the location and this is the time, and people that made commitment have to be there.
Yeah.
So same thing I did with, I'm trying to remember, there is one thing I did. It slipped out of my mind, but when I make a decision, there's no backing out.
I love
And that's something you have to honor, for yourself, because you honor your words for other
that.
people.
Yeah, right.
Why can't you do it for yourself?
Totally. That's
Yeah.
so huge. So
Yeah.
so essential, foundational. What are some of these other books that you got here?
Oh, so I don't know if you know that my grandfather was the founder of karate in the Philippines. And my uncle and my dad made over 100 karate movies.
Wow.
My mom is the first female black belter, and she was the only female at that time. So I think, part of my history is understanding what my family did for themselves.
Yeah.
And this book actually shares the story of how they use their skills in the karate industry and how they use that for the decisions they made in life, and how the branding helped them help other people. So this is a good story
Wow.
that can help them master their leadership and their making decisions in life. And that's why I thought it would be a good book for them. So that's one thing I did. The latest book I
That's
produced.
the newest
Yes.
one?
Yes.
Nice.
So they can find this in Amazon. It's called Karate Legacy and the Power Within. That's the title of the book.
Love that. Look it
Yeah.
up on Amazon. I want to go back to branding for a little bit and talk about, I think a lot of people, they're confused by it. And it means a lot of different things to different people. I think the
Yes.
first thing that people think about is logo and colors and website and things like that.
Yeah.
But I've done some work with branding experts, and I know that there's a lot more that goes into it. There's a whole decisions about what is it that you want to be perceived as? What is that energy? Looking at brands and saying, what's the energy you get when you see the brand Dove? It's this love, kind of light, right? So it represents that energy of the lover, or that softness, right? Because everything in that logo, everything in all their commercials and everything stays on that kind of track. And I think those are decisions that we need to make about our brand. What is the energy that we want people to see, feel, experience the second that they come into our presence or they see something from our brand? And that's difficult. People don't know what it takes to ask those questions. What are some of those things
I've
for
heard
you?
so many information about how people look at colors, and they say blue is the easiest one because everybody loves blue, and it depends on what you're doing and what
Yeah.
type of service you're offering. And I see myself sometimes coming into when I'm creating flyers, if I want for them to see me as a strong woman, I like to wear red. And if I want for them to come into an event, I use blue. It's just something light and easy. So the best thing to do is to get feedback from people on what they think about
Right.
the design.
Right.
Feedback from people will definitely help you, but at the same time, you got to be consistent on what works for you also, because you're the one who's gonna live with it and really explaining it to people why. So, and I like in some of my designs, I use pink. I love pink, and it's for women. I just love pink and blue, royal blue. I love royal blue. I love purple. So it's just my personality. And sometimes when I create my own world, because this is my world, and I'm the director of my own world, so I can design it the way I want it. And anybody resonates, they're welcome to come in. And people don't think that it's something for them. It's okay. There's so many people in the world that you can work with. I'm not worried about that, but I have to be happy on how I'm designing my world, and you have to do the same thing for yourself.
How do you make decisions around what one's brand should be if you're like starting from scratch? Like what's a first step that people need to take to start saying, okay, I don't know, what is my brand? What do I do?
Well, first thing is they need to sit down and find out how they can put together the mission statement,
Okay.
their core values,
Gotcha.
things that they don't want to compromise,
Right.
their goals, their objectives, their vision statement.
Right.
And the vision statement cannot just be a 1 year or 5 years. There should be 10 years, there should be 20 years, and there should be 50 years. Because if you are serious about doing your business, you need to look at your business as leaving a legacy and other people coming in and taking over so they can get benefit from it.
Right.
So that's the first thing, is to have a good structure, a good foundation about their business. And once they know how to put that all together, then they have to look at the financial part of it. There's so many resources, like the small business, SBA, right? A lot of the cities provide those resources. They would ask you to put together your financial plan. Work with a bookkeeper. Talk to an accountant, a CPA. There's so many people around you that you can tap into and get some ideas and resources that can help you. Know your numbers, That's one thing that business fail, is they don't know their numbers. And sometimes, for someone, 10,000 is good enough for them. But for the others, they might have to say they want 100,000. So know what you're comfortable with, know what you want to go at. And if you want 100,000, you need to start with that. And then how do you get the 100,000? Go back. If 1 year is 100,000, then you need to divide it, 12 months, and then go on a weekly, then go on daily, and then figure out how you're going to get it. How are you going to get that 1 day revenue? So, and that's part of, starting. It's really understanding your numbers too.
So that all falls under branding to you?
Yeah. Because part of it is, where are you going to get your resources? You need to build your team.
Right.
And your team is also part of your brand.
Right.
The people that you're going to be working with is going to be part of, the people that are going to be promoting your business. They are going to be part of it. So you need to know how to select. That's part of what I share in this book, is you need to know who to select, and you need to know how to train. And being a leader is another thing. And that's part of branding. You got to be a good leader, because being a good leader gives good impression, good understanding for the team that you have. And they will talk about you, that you are an amazing leader.
Right.
So it boils down to who you are. That's why I say, who do you think you are? Are you a good leader? Are you a good trainer? Are you a good communicator? Are you a good negotiator? Are you a creative? Those are the things that you need to know who you are. And once you establish that, branding is easy. It's going to go. I mean, when I did all my events, I had mayors coming to me. I have economic development coming to me. They want to partner with me, want to collaborate. I am just a community leader, but I was working with all of the city officials because they saw who I am. They saw the kind of person I am. They gave me testimonials that are amazing. So when I did this book, I had 2 weeks to get testimonials. And I tell you, I got almost 100 testimonials from people. And they did paragraphs of testimonial about me. And this shows the proof of my relationship with them and what they think of me. And that's part of branding. You got to have all those testimonials.
Yeah. That's
through
awesome.
testimonials
Right.
from
That's
people.
amazing. Well, you hopefully are getting inspired by this because this is a powerful conversation with a very actualized, action taking, confident person who's really going out and living their dream, rocking their gift. And, this is a great example of what's possible. And hopefully you're inspired. If you are, make sure that you subscribe, make sure that you comment and that you share this. We're going to be, just continuing to bring amazing experts as a part of this. And you don't want to miss what's coming. So if you're getting value, subscribe, click the subscribe right now. And as we kind of round this out, I would love for you to share anything else that you feel like hasn't been said or that you think would be really helpful based on this conversation, and maybe a way that they can find you and connect with you.
Yeah, I do have a website, and it's Marie Waite. That's MarieWaite.com. And in my website, you'll get to see all the services that I offer. I also have 3 courses that I offer. One is for building your brand. The second is building your speaking legacy. And Glenn Morshower is part of that. He is mostly in charge of that training. And then the third one is I'm launching the karate, where they can learn everything from beginning kata all the way down for being a black belt
Wow.
online. So anybody that's home, if you're busy, even you're working 9 to 5, and you have time to learn karate at night, do it. It is gonna be amazing for everybody.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm
So
excited
cool.
about that.
So give us the website again.
That's Marie Waite, MarieWaite.com. I always say you cannot wait to work with Marie.
It's amazing. I can't wait to connect with you in our next
Yeah.
event. It's been an absolute pleasure. Well, you heard it here on the Rock Your Gift podcast, and we look forward to seeing you on the very next one. So stay tuned. Until then, peace.